Good morning, everyone. If you wouldn't mind taking your seats, and we will start our program for this morning. I just got to move all the clickers and all the Kleenex boxes that are on the counter here so I can find my notes somewhere in the pile. Well, that's better than when I was an instructor. It took a while for people to settle down when I said we're going to begin class, but you guys behaved very well. Everyone settled down immediately. Good morning and welcome. My name is Dr. Larry Rosia, and I'm President and CEO of Saskatchewan Polytechnic. I often refer to myself as Chief Cheerleader because I get to cheer about all the great things that this sector does within the province of Saskatchewan. And it's my pleasure to welcome all of you here today. And what a great crowd and what a great turnout. Great to see so many people gather for this special event that we're having this morning. I'd like to acknowledge before we begin that the land which we are gathered on this morning is Treaty 4 territory, the traditional and ancestral lands of the Nihoa, Plains Cree, the Nakawa Saulteaux, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota peoples, and the traditional homeland of the Métis. And I'd also like to start our morning out this morning in a good way by welcoming Knowledge Keeper Gary Gott to lead us with opening prayers. So Gary, would you please come down and start with our prayers, please?
Thank you very much for this tobacco this morning. I acknowledge this tobacco. To us, tobacco is a very sacred instrument. To us, tobacco, First Nations people that follow ceremony, tobacco is a contract between human beings. It's a contract between us and the Creator, and us and nature. So it's a sacred contract. It's something we take very seriously, and opens doors. And with the Creator, it opens doors to the four directions. And those are our beliefs. And so I acknowledge that and give thanks for that. Also, I was just thinking, I didn't know how I was going to dress this morning. But then I remembered September 30 is coming up pretty soon. At one time, a former staff member that I worked with, he kind of made fun of me. He said, "Hey, how come you're still wearing your shirt?" He said, "Is it laundry day and September 30 is over?" And I said, "Well, for me," I said, "September 30 is like every day for me," I said. And so it's kind of like a go-to shirt, I guess. It represents so many things for First Nations people, especially coming in the next few days here. All the things that we've gone through and trauma and all kinds of things that we still carry today. And with the recent announcements with health in the news with Indigenous people, there's a tie-in in there. And not to dwell on the past and all trauma, but this prayer is basically throwing your words, throwing your heart, throwing your spirit into the universe. Prayer is the hope and the faith that something out there is greater than us, that something is out there is listening to us, something out there is pitying us. Sometimes where we think of prayer only in times when we're sitting at the casino or sitting in a ditch when we get stuck in the snow, and God help me, things like that. But in a serious way, the prayer is sending that voice out to the universe and to creation and thinking that something listening to us. And sometimes, even when things are good, we say prayers. Even when things are going smooth, we say prayers. Just in thank you. We say that Creator appreciates two very powerful words, which are thank you. Those are more powerful than anything we could ever say in tears, and it's an appreciation for all the things that we have. So this prayer is just a call to the universe to ask for blessings for the things that are going to be spoken about and things that are going to be shared today on this fine day and with your fine folks, and for the things that we're hoping for. So I like to pray in my language, but I also like to pray with a microphone as well, and that way people can hear the beauty of our language. A lot of people have lost language, so I'm very proud and happy to still be able to use my language. So with that, I'm going to say a little prayer in my language, and in your own ways, maybe you can help me. In your own ways, maybe you can send a voice to your Maker in the way that you believe. So I'll also say a prayer for myself as well. You can stay seated, and I'll just say a little prayer. Maakseman tuanska kiska komota tsastema okepeni menamat no toma mino mote poksen me kwant pixquata komota mino gurta maskikine no kutoma pixquate komoto totskenio tuma mino teni gan ke vitotskema tekne hio und snape mino te tipo enno kinaptog sanak kinote kaka vitotskema tekuse ksewatsi on taniga no tema ksewatsi on taniga tema de to ke atosketsik de to kiskau Kenatsin usteikku täyttäis keino uutisen niigaan. Minun uutani heok nuitsen snapi okutega otuskap kagnopitsik karnat eikma muuta. Vistoota minus kagutsiko muuteisetskiin. Maago muuta. Minun maamtrentsigan, minun anartrentsigan. Ja uutaka isipoksen maana osa pikskuat maanu tuuma. Minun uutisen niigaan minun jaavan, minun mutteivan. Minä tuo sen maakuus jakt meskan oin uutisen niigaan tuo tekee toidot jak. Että minun tagusnaak, minun kiojak, kino tuo muutse. Maakuuta minun maamtrentsigan, minun anartrentsigan. Minä keseoat siun. Joo maama. Kaksi tentaa, onko mä aina nasko monista on muuta. Hei, hai.
All right. Well, thank you, Gary, for starting us out in a very good way this morning. And it's always nice to begin with a morning prayer and to ground ourselves in how thankful we should all be. And remember, Orange Shirt Day coming up. So everybody, wear orange, please. There's a number of special guests here today as well, and I see some names here, Ellison and a few others in the crowd, Brad and Vicky. I saw Patty, but so I don't forget anybody, I'm just going to give a shout out to our post-secondary partners that are part of this initiative and in the room with us today as well. So our partners at the colleges, the regional colleges, the University of Saskatchewan, the University of Regina, as well as SIIT. Thank you for being here this morning. We have our Deputy Minister, Louise Michaud, is here as well, joining us for this announcement and celebration. And a number of faculty members I met coming in the door as well. So faculty members, give a wave. All the faculty members, please have a chat with them later on. And the real important part about all of this is our students. And there's a number of them here. I see paramedics in the background. I saw some nurses I talked to earlier on. Students, give a wave, please. This is what this is all about. So thank you for being here. This is all about you and the role you're going to play in Saskatchewan. It's now my pleasure. Before I start, though, I wanted to also say, it's always a special occasion when we have a minister visit one of our institutions. So today is a very special day because we have 3 ministers visiting. And I'd like to start by welcoming the Honourable Everett Henley, Minister of Health, to the podium to say a few words this morning.
Thanks, Dr. Rosia. Good morning, and thank you for being part of this important event with us all here today. Thank you to our knowledge keeper, Gary, who I've lost sight of here, but thank you very much, so much, sir, for your insightful words here this morning. As Dr. Rosia pointed out, a number of dignitaries here in the crowd here today. Not to single anybody out, but I noticed one of my colleagues, or our colleagues, is here, MLA for Cannington, Daryl Harrison, sitting in the front row. Good to see you, Daryl. Thanks for being here. And I know that Daryl, for him, healthcare is very close and near and dear to the heart for him for a number of reasons. So thank you, Daryl, for your advocacy as an MLA as part of the government. Thanks as well to some of my other colleagues, Minister Tim McLeod, the Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Seniors and Rural and Remote Health, Minister Colleen Young, the Minister of Advanced Education, Andrew Will, CEO of the Saskatchewan Health Authority, and Aaron Brady from the Saskatchewan Healthcare Recruitment Agency. Aaron, good to see you once again and for participating here today. And thanks to all of our guests, students, faculty, staff, and media for joining us for this milestone here that we are discussing here today. So the Health Human Resources Action Plan has achieved some incredible results. Over the past 2 years, it has positively impacted and benefited hundreds of healthcare workers and countless patients right across our province. Back in 2022, seems like a long time ago now, but the healthcare system here and across the globe was emerging from an unprecedented pandemic. We needed an ambitious plan to strengthen and reinforce our entire healthcare system here in Saskatchewan. Healthcare workers are the foundation of our healthcare system. Physicians, registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, continuing care assistants, pharmacists, paramedics, medical lab techs. Those are just some of the diverse range of valued healthcare professionals that form our workplace ecosystem here in this province. And as an interconnected network, a shortage in one area creates imbalances in others. So in September of 2022, we launched an historic Health Human Resources Action Plan with 4 pillars to address the shortages and provide a path forward. And I'm pleased that we have this chance today to acknowledge this incredible success. As I said, there were 4 pillars: recruit, train, incentivize, and retain. And I'll maybe take a little bit of time here just to kind of go through each of those pillars and talk about some of the work that's been done and some of the achievements that have been recognized. Number 1, under the recruit pillar, our recruitment efforts have seen some outstanding results. We needed hundreds of more healthcare professionals in our province. I can tell you that over 218 physicians have been recruited to Saskatchewan from outside the province since September of 2022, with 35 physicians from outside of the country. Nearly 400 internationally educated nurses have arrived from the Philippines to Saskatchewan, with 280 now working in 70 communities across the province. They are either enrolled in or have completed the new Transition to Registered Nursing in Canada program, or TRNC, which includes online training, in-person clinical work, and transition to employment. The TRNC program streamlines training while supporting integration into the Canadian practice of nursing for these highly qualified nurses from other jurisdictions. And Sask Poly has been instrumental in developing this effective program that supports nurse recruits through to licensure. Thank you, Dr. Rosia, to you and your team that have helped work very closely with the SHA partners, with the government and the Ministry of Health to help ensure that we have this program in place to expedite what we have for training and licensure here in Saskatchewan. Sask Poly and its partners through the Health Recruitment Agency and the SHA created this effective transition process from recruitment through the clinical, right through to lab practice, and including settlement in a new community as well. And as a matter of fact, I understand that the latest cohort from the Philippines has joined us here today. We're excited to have you here, and we wish you success and the best of luck on your new career path that will be lying in front of you. Now, in addition to our international recruits, I know that students and new graduates have a lot of options and opportunities, not just here in Saskatchewan, but right across the country and even beyond that, I would say. And our goal is to create opportunities so that new grads and students can stay here in Saskatchewan and build a rewarding career close to home. To that end, it's wonderful to see the nursing graduates receive excellent and well-deserved opportunities, with over 1,400 nursing graduates from Saskatchewan and other Canadian provinces who have been hired since December of 2022. Under the pillar of training opportunities in our province have increased tremendously. Intense collaboration happening amongst our post-secondary institutions has been impressive and inspiring as well. And it's so important to ensure that our high school students are aware of the growing educational opportunities and, in addition to that, career opportunities within the healthcare system here in Saskatchewan. For 2 years in a row, all family medicine and specialty program seats posted by the University of Saskatchewan have been filled, and that's pretty impressive. The anesthesia program has been expanded to Regina. A new dermatology program is now offered in Regina. We're in the process of establishing a new occupational therapy program and a speech-language pathology program as well. And there's a new diagnostic medical sonography program in Yorkton that just began earlier this month. And we were pleased to have an announcement a little bit earlier in September, along with our partners from Suncrest College, as well as the healthcare foundations who are helping to support that particular initiative, and so many others in healthcare. Residency seats are now available in Prince Albert, Swift Current, La Ronge, North Battleford, Moose Jaw, and in the southeast parts of the province to ensure that a homegrown supply is available for future years. And the Ministry of Health and Advanced Education continue to work with the College of Medicine to pursue additional seats. And I continue to work with my colleague, the Honourable Minister Colleen Young from Advanced Education, on examining what other programs can we bring here to Saskatchewan, can we establish in Saskatchewan, can we expand seats, training seats here in Saskatchewan, so we have more of those opportunities close to home when it comes to training. Under the incentivized pillar, generous incentive packages have been introduced since the fall of 2022, resulting in over 350 hard-to-recruit positions in rural and northern communities being filled. Generous incentive packages have also been provided and made available for specific specialists in hard-to-recruit healthcare designations. The province has introduced more final clinical bursaries, paramedic bursaries, graduate retention tax credits, student loan forgiveness programs, and other scholarships and grants to encourage students to pursue a healthcare career here in Saskatchewan. Finally, under the pillar of retain, a better healthcare system needs highly qualified, well-educated healthcare professionals practicing at the top of their scope. And scope changes for nurse practitioners, pharmacists, and paramedics optimize our workforce, and it improves team-based care, and it creates other avenues for patients to be able to seek that primary care. As an example, nurse practitioners can now admit and discharge patients to improve patient flow. They can provide examinations of new long-term care residents. They can be responsible for the ongoing medical care and treatment for these residents, and they can provide emergency care as well. Pharmacists can now independently prescribe to order lab tests and conduct point-of-care testing, such as drawing blood samples. And we recently announced just a couple of weeks ago, we will have the ability, the pharmacists will soon have the ability, I should say, to conduct tests for strep throat and ear infections and also prescribe necessary treatments. We're going to start with a pilot project in 10 pharmacies plus an additional 50. And as we see the benefits of that particular program, I can expect that that will be expanding province-wide. That would be my hope and goal. And also today, in that vein, I'm pleased to announce that the Ministry of Health, in partnership with the Saskatchewan Medical Association, will be piloting a point-of-care testing project as well, similar for pharmacists, but also now for 16 designated physician-led clinics across Saskatchewan. And I want to thank Dr. Andre Grobler, the president of the SMA, as well as his executive and his team for bringing this idea and opportunity to my attention. We had a chance to chat about this earlier this summer. We had a meeting up at the SMA offices in Saskatoon. And I just want to thank Dr. Grobler and the leadership there for allowing us to now expand that to physician-led clinics as well. In addition to that, a pilot project is happening in Swift Current that allows pharmacists to help people managing COPD, as well as underactive thyroid and medication management for specific prescriptions. And scope changes impacting paramedics allow them to perform suturing for minor wounds, cuts, and lacerations. And I would say just on that, before I kind of move off of that topic, there was some consultation happening probably a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, with these 3 designations about expanding scope of practice. We identified some short, medium, and long-term goals. We've been able to implement some of those shorter-term initiatives, but there's more work to do to continue to expand scope of practice and make sure that healthcare professionals are and do have the ability to practice and work to their full scope. Finally, we have also had some preliminary discussions with the unions for RNs, LPNs, and also CCAs on the development of a task force or a council for frontline care providers. And we've been having those conversations, having those meetings for a number of months now, myself as the minister, as well as at the officials level as well. And we are ready and able and our ability and have the ability to continue those discussions to see what a task force or council might look like for healthcare providers, frontline healthcare providers here in Saskatchewan. Now, I know that I can speak to this, Minister McLeod can as well. We have heard directly from our healthcare workers that not only must we continue to recruit, train, and incentivize healthcare workers to help build that healthcare workforce, but we must continue to invest in infrastructure as well. And before I wrap up, I just want to be able to speak about a number of those initiatives. For example, here in Regina, there's going to be a new breast health center that is soon to be under construction. It will provide diagnostic imaging, consultation with specialists and surgeons, patient education and support as well, and navigation to other services, as well as on-site access to post-treatment care, such as therapies and rehabilitation. That new breast health center here in Regina is expected to be open in March of 2025. And in addition to that, we're providing additional enhancements to the breast health center in Saskatoon as well. There's an urgent care center in Regina that recently opened back in July, and it has already provided care to over 9,000 patients. It has been exceedingly busy there, and I can't thank the healthcare teams enough for the work that they have done to help stand up that urgent care center, provide care to, on average, well over 100 patients per day since its opening. As well, there will be a second urgent care center in Saskatoon that we are working in close collaboration with our partners at Atakaku Pre-Developments. And again, so very grateful for the partnership that we have with our First Nation partners. In that case, Atakaku. There's other examples as well. Earlier this year, we were able to talk about a new MRI here in Regina, and that is being paid for by the James Smith Cree Nation. And we're continuing to have other collaborations. Chief Darcy Pear and Whitecap Dakota First Nation around a virtual health hub south of Saskatoon. That's another example of collaboration with our First Nations partners. And we're looking forward to so much more. Finally, a new Prince Albert Hospital at PA Vic, the new tower under construction right now. It will also have a First Nation and Métis component as well, an expanded emergency department, larger operating rooms, and new medical imaging services in the city of Prince Albert, serving not just that city, but northern Saskatchewan as well. And having those partnerships, developing them and maintaining them, that will help us as we continue upon this long-term vision for a healthy province. We're committed to expanding training, to improving job offer placements, and providing more full-time career options. And work has begun on the next stage of the Health Human Resources Strategy with some exciting initiatives and opportunities to help the healthcare system. And I just want all of you in this room here today to know that this government is committed to the work not only that we've done thus far with our partners, whether it's in First Nations, whether it's with the healthcare foundations, whether it's with the post-secondary education partners, and most importantly with students and future healthcare providers. We're here to work with you. We've invested hundreds of millions of dollars into this Health Human Resources Action Plan. The work hasn't stopped, and it will continue in the months and years ahead, and we're looking forward to doing that with you. So thank you once again for being here today.
Well, thank you, Minister Hindley. You know, one of the things I liked about the title, the Health Human Resource Action Plan, and that really spoke to the action. There's certainly a lot happening on that front and a lot that Saskatchewan can be proud of. So thank you, Minister Hindley, for those remarks. Minister Hindley also mentioned a cohort of students from the Philippines here as well, and I believe there's one of them here today, Yagi Avi Endrezo. Is already here? Stand up and give a wave. Yeah, just one example. Thank you for being here today as well. One example of a family that moved from the Philippines. She's a nurse in the Philippines for 13 years. Started working at SHA 4 months ago as an internationally educated nurse in the cardiac surveillance unit at the Regina General Hospital. So your skills went to good use almost immediately. So that's amazing. She chose to come to Canada to seek greater opportunities and is grateful to SHA for the support acclimatizing her to life in nursing in Saskatchewan, as well as nurturing her professional development as a nurse in her new home in Saskatchewan. So that's just an example of the impact this is having on individuals, not only within Saskatchewan, but across globally as well. It's now my great pleasure to introduce the Honourable Tim MacLeod, Minister of Mental Health and Addictions, Seniors and Rural Remote Health. Minister MacLeod.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Rosia, and thank you all for being here. I won't go through the list of dignitaries and guests that are here. Minister Hindley did that quite nicely, but I do sincerely want to thank all of you for joining us today. I appreciate this opportunity to highlight the ways in which our Health Human Resources Action Plan is getting results for communities right across Saskatchewan. Stabilizing and strengthening the important healthcare services that people in rural, regional, and northern communities rely upon is a high priority for our government. In order to do that, our Health Human Resources Action Plan includes numerous new incentives to recruit, train, incentivize, and retain more healthcare workers across our province. Thousands of healthcare workers have been recruited since our HHR Action Plan was first announced, including over 1,700 in rural and regional communities. So what does that look like on the ground in those communities? Well, in North Battleford, that's 91 new nurses, 65 care assistants, and 16 lab and scan technicians. In Moose Jaw, 88 nurses, 56 care assistants, and 12 lab and scan technicians. In Prince Albert, 87 nurses, 38 care assistants, and 22 lab and scan technicians. In Yorkton, 28 nurses, 61 care aides, and 10 lab and scan technicians have been successfully recruited. In Weyburn, 21 nurses, 50 care assistants, and 3 lab and scan techs. Meadow Lake, 26 nurses, 30 care assistants, 5 lab and scan techs. In Melfort, it's 23 nurses, 30 care assistants, 6 lab and scan techs. And in Fort Qu'Appelle, 11 nurses, 3 care assistants, and 2 new lab and scan technicians have been successfully recruited. Ladies and gentlemen, I can continue. We have communities like Swift Current, Lloydminster, Humboldt, Shellbrook, Kamsack. The list goes on and on, where we have seen successes on the ground in these communities as a direct result of our Health Human Resources Action Plan. To further enhance primary health care availability, we are also creating 27 new nurse practitioner positions over the next year in our rural, regional, and northern communities. This is an essential step in ensuring that all Saskatchewan residents have access to quality health care. Moreover, virtual treatment options have become increasingly important in our efforts. They play a vital role in enhancing healthcare accessibility, providing a more equitable approach to health and wellness. I'm excited to announce that our province has committed to contributing to the virtual health hub that Minister Hinley referenced earlier, led by our Indigenous partners, which will offer robotic ultrasounds to more than 30 remote communities. We are also introducing rapid access counseling, which is now available virtually to children and youth and their caregivers at no cost. This initiative will help address mental health challenges ranging from stress and depression to family conflict to addictions or domestic violence. In addition to partnering with community-based organizations to increase bed capacity for individuals struggling with addiction, we have collaborated with EHN Canada to add 36 virtual outpatient treatment spaces, ensuring that this essential service is accessible to those in our remote communities as well. This past year saw a great deal of work going into the creation of a new action plan for mental health and addictions that focuses on 3 main pillars. The first is to build capacity for treatment. The second, improving the system itself. And the third is a transition to a recovery-oriented approach for addictions treatment. The Healthline 811 service also continues to be a lifeline for many. This free, confidential, 24-hour phone service provides advice, education, and support for a range of health, mental health, and addiction concerns. It has seen a steady increase in calls, providing easy access for people anywhere in this province. To ensure stability in our rural communities, we have launched a virtual physician program through Healthline 811 to support remote coverage for rural emergency departments that would otherwise be facing gaps in physician availability. As we celebrate these successes, we remain aware that there are still many things on the horizon for the Saskatchewan health sector. I promise that we will continue to innovate and improve patient access and ensure Saskatchewan is an attractive environment for all of our healthcare professionals. Thank you once again for being here, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, thank you, Minister MacLeod, for those remarks. And again, I underline the word action. You heard the action in a lot of those statements. As you know, post-secondary training is a key part of the Health Human Resource Action Plan. It's foundational to the efforts to build a strong, sustainable healthcare workforce to meet the demands, I would say the growing demands of the labor force in Saskatchewan. And Saskatchewan Polytechnic, as well as I know the partners within our system at University of Saskatchewan, University of Regina, the colleges, the regional colleges, and SIIT have been really proud to support the expansion of the HHR Action Plan. We're proud to support the expansion of new programs and the creation, actually, of new programs. You know, I work with a number of associations and boards across the country, and nowhere have I seen the benefits of what can happen when education, post-secondary education, government, and employers work together to achieve a positive outcome. And you know, this is a real good example of the art of the possible, what is possible when governments, when education, and when employers work together for a common goal. And certainly we're seeing that come true here. With that, I would like to now call forward my minister, the Honourable Colleen Young, Minister of Advanced Education, to say a few words, please. Minister Young.
Thank you, Dr. Rosia, and to everyone that's here today. Thank you for coming and being a part of the words and the celebration that we're honoring today with regards to our Health Human Resources Action Plan, which has been very successful. I echo the sentiments and comments shared by Minister Hinley and Minister MacLeod here today, because investing in our healthcare sector and its professionals is central to Saskatchewan's continued success in this area. In my role as Advanced Education Minister, we have been focused on the train pillar of the Health Human Resources Action Plan with the aim of developing the next generation of healthcare workers for our great province right here at home. And over the last few years, we have made remarkable strides. As you heard from Minister MacLeod, the numbers speak for itself across this province and in many communities. Since the start of the Health Human Resources Action Plan, Advanced Education has provided over $100 million to support approximately 870 new healthcare training seats in 33 different programs. And these seats will produce graduates in important healthcare fields like registered nursing, psychiatric nursing, mental health and addictions counseling, medical diagnostic imaging, more physicians, more lab techs, and so much more. This area, and this year alone, we're investing over $50 million to expand healthcare training opportunities across the province, with an additional 66 seats being added across 6 nursing programs, as well as bringing on 4 new to Saskatchewan programs: physician assistants, occupational therapy, speech-language pathology, and respiratory therapy programs. We are also investing in programs for Indigenous students to train for careers in healthcare sectors, with a new phlebotomy program to be offered at Gabriel Dumont Institute, and expanding seats in continuing care assistance and practical nursing, both at Gabriel Dumont Institute as well as Saskatchewan Indian Institute of Technologies. Overall, our aim is to help build a stronger, more robust healthcare workforce that will meet the needs of our communities both now and into the future. And I am confident these expansions will provide a large, ongoing injection of healthcare graduates across many different professions that will help address the gaps in our healthcare system now and into the future. I'm sure you would all agree that rapid addition of so many new training seats in such a short amount of time has been nothing short of astonishing. But none of this would be possible without the partnerships and support of our post-secondary sector, our universities, our technical schools, our regional colleges, our Indigenous institutions, and of course, the College of Medicine. We have here with us today many representatives from these institutions, and I would like to take this opportunity to not only welcome you here, but also to say thank you. Thank you for all your ongoing cooperation and support that you have given to us in making sure that our plan works. It is through our strong economy that we can make these investments into the programs and services that most matter to our communities, and investments in the education and training of our students who are the future of this province. And to that end, as a post-secondary education sector, we offer a variety of scholarships, bursaries, grants, and incentives to encourage students to take up a career in the healthcare sector, such as the Saskatchewan Student Loan Forgiveness for Nurses and Nurse Practitioners program, which provides up to $20,000 in student loan forgiveness for nurses working in rural or underserved communities. The Saskatchewan Rural and Remote Recruitment Incentive, which provides up to $50,000 for those hired into high-priority classifications in rural and remote locations. The final clinical placement bursary, offered through the Ministry of Health, offers $2,000 to students who need to complete a final clinical placement as part of their training. And of course, the Graduate Retention Program, which provides up to $20,000 in income tax credits for graduates who stay, live, and work here after their studies. To date, this program alone has provided $801 million in tuition tax credits to more than 85,000 post-secondary graduates living and working in Saskatchewan since its inception in 2009. In closing, I'd like to thank everyone for being here today to help us celebrate these achievements. We have come so far in such a short amount of time, and we know there is more to be done. But our government's Health Human Resources Action Plan is working. And what I see today is how government, the business sector, and our post-secondary institutions are collaborating in meaningful ways that are making a difference. We are all pulling together in typical Saskatchewan fashion to ensure our students have the opportunities and the pathways that open them to pursue careers in healthcare-related fields of study. And ultimately, this will be pivotal for ensuring the long-term sustainability and viability of the great province of Saskatchewan and its people. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Minister Young. All of us in the education sector appreciate the support of the province and the strong partnership between us as we work together to create opportunities for the reason we are all here, our students. And it's great again to see them here this afternoon. I now invite Andrew Will, CEO of Saskatchewan Health Authority, to bring a few words. Please, Andrew.
Good morning, everyone. As mentioned, I'm Andrew Will, CEO of the Saskatchewan Health Authority. Dr. Rosia, thank you very much for the kind introduction. I also want to join Knowledge Keeper Gary Gott, and the ministers in recognizing that we're gathered here today on treaty land. I've made it my personal priority to learn and understand the gaps that exist in health outcomes between Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples, and to do my part to eradicate those gaps. In addition to those the ministers have already recognized, I'd like to thank Knowledge Keeper Gary Gott for opening this event and the ministers for your opening remarks. We are also joined today by several SHA leaders, staff, and human resource team members, and I'd like to acknowledge the impact of their work in helping us care for Saskatchewan people. At the Saskatchewan Health Authority, we care. It's a simple statement, but at its core, it speaks to what we do each and every day. We provide care to our patients. We care about enhancing treatment options available in communities across Saskatchewan. We care about supporting our healthcare providers as they provide high-quality services. As a provincial health authority, our greatest strength is our people, our healthcare teams around the province. They're essential for delivering our commitment to care for health and well-being of Saskatchewan people. That is why the work that we are celebrating today is so important. 2 years ago, the Government of Saskatchewan, in partnership with the Saskatchewan Health Authority, released Saskatchewan's Health Human Resource Action Plan. This plan laid the framework to accelerate efforts to recruit, train, incentivize, and retain healthcare workers across the province. Since the introduction of the Health Human Resource Action Plan, or HHR plan, sometimes we call it, because we have to put an acronym to everything in healthcare. We've seen tremendous progress in achieving our goals to strengthen and stabilize Saskatchewan's healthcare workforce. Over the last 2 years, the Saskatchewan Health Authority has successfully hired over 1,400 recent nursing graduates from both Saskatchewan and other provinces. We also welcomed almost 400 internationally educated nurses, IENs, to the province to date, with 290 IENs already working, further increasing our capacity to provide high-quality, compassionate care. And I just also want to acknowledge Yagi being here as one of our recruits here in the Health Authority, so thank you for being here today. In total, this adds almost 1,700 nurses who are already working in our system, providing high-quality health services to patients around Saskatchewan. A key component of our recruitment success has been the rural and remote recruitment incentives introduced as part of the action plan. To date, 346 incentives have been provided in 9 high-priority classifications in 54 rural and remote communities throughout the province, helping to reduce service disruptions in our facilities. Progress has advanced by filling 98% of 250 new and enhanced full-time positions in 9 high-priority occupations, including registered nurses and other healthcare professionals, with a focus on stabilization in rural and northern communities. These new and enhanced positions were made possible by an $11.6 million investment in this year's provincial budget, and I'd like to convey the SHA's appreciation for this investment. In addition, this year, the SHA has added 65 registered nurses positions to further support the rural and remote stabilization, with 39 of those positions already filled. Additionally, 27 new permanent nurse practitioner positions have been posted in rural and remote communities, 24 full-time and 3 part-time, with 10 of those already filled. Each of these enhancements strengthens our ability to care for Saskatchewan patients in communities across the province. And I thought it might be just interesting to share a statistic with you that we're quite pleased with. We've got a number of hard-to-recruit classifications in Saskatchewan and across the country, and over the past 2 years we've seen a 14% reduction in the number of hard-to-recruit positions. Actually, that was the last year, a 14% reduction in those hard-to-recruit positions. And another one that is really interesting, when we look at last September to this September, we've seen a 45.5% reduction in the number of contract nurses that we're utilizing to provide services in our facilities. So that definitely shows the benefits of the plan that has been implemented. These enhancements have been supported by the introduction of the Saskatchewan Healthcare Recruitment Agency, and I'd like to thank Terry, Aaron, and the entire Saskatchewan Healthcare Recruitment Agency team for their meaningful collaboration. Aaron's here with us today. Beyond recruitment, we are committed to creating an environment that fosters long-term retention and professional growth. This includes a mentorship program with over 200 participants, which is just one example of our efforts to enhance staff engagement. We're working collaboratively with First Nations, Métis community partners, and educational institutions to further implement our recruitment and retention strategy that aligns with our overall HHR plan. To inspire the next generation of healthcare professionals, we offer volunteer opportunities, job shadowing, and career exploration events for high school students across Saskatchewan. These initiatives provide valuable hands-on learning and insights into various healthcare careers and help build a future pipeline of talent. A pipeline that may lead some of those students to one of Saskatchewan's world-class academic institutions like Saskatchewan Polytechnic that we're gathered here today. And it's nice to see so many students that have joined for this event. Through the framework of the HHR Action Plan, 870 new training seats across 33 programs have been made available to students across Saskatchewan at this innovative institution, which also has seen the introduction of 4 new programs: occupational therapy, physician assistants, respiratory therapy, and speech-language therapy. This represents tremendous growth in our province's ability to train the next generation of our healthcare teams. Saskatchewan's HHR plan is a true testament to the partnership of government, the health system, and our academic institutions, and I'm incredibly proud of the progress that we've made together. Our efforts are gaining momentum, improving care for patients and families, and enhancing the work environment for staff and physicians. The HHR Action Plan has positioned our health system to be adaptable, continually evolving our strategies to meet the changing needs of our workforce. I want to extend my thanks to the Government of Saskatchewan, the Ministries of Health, Advanced Education, and Immigration and Career Training for their ongoing support and partnership. I also want to acknowledge the dedication of our healthcare teams who care deeply for patients, clients, and residents in their care. Together, we remain committed to setting up our teams for success, ensuring that they have the tools and supports necessary to enhance healthcare and to improve health outcomes for the people of Saskatchewan. Thank you.
Okay, we're getting near the end of our program now, but before that, I'd like to thank Andrew and everyone actually at SHA for being such good partners and who collaborated on the past 2 years of the HHR Action Plan successes. That partnership and that collaboration has been instrumental in moving this whole initiative forward. Our last speaker of this morning will be from where am I here in my notes? I kind of lost my South Health and Recruitment. Aaron, right? Aaron's next. So here to speak on the recruitment and retention efforts and the successes is Aaron Brady. Sorry, Aaron, I lost my place in my notes there. The most important part.
Good morning, everyone. It's an honor to be here today to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of the Health Human Resource Action Plan, a pivotal initiative that has shaped and strengthened our healthcare system. It's wonderful to share the stage with dignitaries and leaders in the room today. Your support and leadership has been instrumental in advancing the goals of the Action Plan and the Recruitment Agency. The establishment of the Saskatchewan Healthcare Recruitment Agency was an initiative within the Government of Saskatchewan's Action Plan, and our mandate is to recruit, retain, and support healthcare professionals across Saskatchewan. We work to connect individuals with the Health Authority, the Cancer Agency, and other health employers throughout the province to assist them with finding employment within the health sector. Today, I want to highlight some of our team's successes and how the Action Plan has influenced the growth of the healthcare workforce. Our activities have revolved around a few main areas. One key initiative is to source candidates for high priority and hard to fill professions to support hiring needs of the healthcare services in Saskatchewan. Our team actively focuses on recruiting homegrown talent from within Saskatchewan while also participating in national and international events to attract priority physicians and health professionals, including nurses, medical radiation technologists, and radiation therapists. By balancing local recruitment with efforts in broader markets, we ensure a comprehensive approach to meeting the province's healthcare needs. Our team also sources internationally trained physicians and helps them navigate the prerequisites for the Saskatchewan International Physician Practice Assessment. This has been a key success to ensuring that qualified physicians can provide much needed care in rural Saskatchewan. Another core activity is to serve as a resource for health employers, students, and job seekers by promoting healthcare careers and job opportunities in the province. We are proud to support health professionals new to Saskatchewan to make their transition into our healthcare workforce and their new communities as smooth as possible. This year alone, nearly 400 internationally educated nurses from the Philippines have settled into Saskatchewan, and we have worked with our partners to ensure their settlement is welcoming and successful. Lastly, a core activity is to engage with communities across the province, recognizing them as partners in retention efforts. We work with community leaders to develop strategies that support healthcare professionals in both rural and urban areas. One of the strategies is our collaboration with local leaders on the development of a community toolkit to assist them in welcoming new healthcare workers in their community, ensuring they have a positive experience as they transition into their new homes. Communities play a vital role in the success of our recruitment and retention efforts. We know that healthcare professionals don't just work in a province, they live and thrive in their communities. This collective effort is key to building a vibrant and resilient healthcare system. In closing, I'd like to thank our ministry partners, the Saskatchewan Health Authority, the Cancer Agency and affiliates, post-secondary education communities, and other provinces and other partners in our province. The work our organizations have done together over the last 2 years is only the beginning. The recruitment agency looks forward to continuing these partnerships, adapting to the ever-evolving needs of the health system, and ensuring that Saskatchewan remains as an attractive, supportive destination for healthcare professionals for years to come. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Aaron. And note to all of our students here today, that's what happens when you don't follow the script. You lose your place in the script. So thank you, Aaron, for those remarks and for being another key component. I mean, without the recruitment, we do not have students, so that's amazing. And, you know, I guess that brings us to the end of our program here today. I guess I would like to say, as President and CEO, I've witnessed firsthand the enthusiasm and the excitement of our students as they embrace new educational opportunities and pursue new careers in Saskatchewan. And it's truly gratifying. It's the reason we are here. And we always say that when our students succeed, our students succeed. And I'm sure that's true for our whole sector. These students inspire us to work diligently each and every day to create more training opportunities that will pave the way for a bright future for our great province. So now that concludes the formal part of my program, but if you'd let me, I would like to allow me to say a few thanks. And I don't get to thank people, especially from my organization, publicly very often, but there are a few people in the audience, as I'm sure my partner institutions have people in their organizations that are critical to this initiative moving forward. So I'd like to give a shout out to Krista McLean and her team for the work they've done in all the work they've done behind the scenes and in the front seat here, making sure that our students are successful in their programs and that we've responded to the province's needs and the needs of the Health Human Resource Action Plan. I'd also like to give a shout out to all the students that are here today. You've chosen a very exciting career with tremendous opportunities. So we're proud of you, and you should be very proud of your chosen careers as well. There's a lot of opportunity in the health sector, and I'd like to thank all of our speakers today for bringing remarks. Our three ministers, Minister Hindley, Minister McLeod, and Minister Young, as well as Aaron and Andrew for their remarks. And that'll wrap up our session. Immediately following, there'll be a scrum, and I've been told to point out the scrum will be in front of the sign in the back of the room there. So if you'd like to gather there, the ministers will be available for some questions and a bit of a scrum. Finally, there's some refreshments at the back for the invited guests, and you're welcome to stay and join after the scrum to socialize with some of our speakers that are here as well. All of the speakers are now available to take questions that you might have. Minister Hindley will go first, and then there'll be some tours as well. So if you're interested in a tour, if you could gather, where in the back of the room? And we'll probably back in the corner there, and we'll arrange some tours through our new facilities that we've developed in this particular location. Thank you, and have a great rest of a Saskatchewan Polytechnic Day.